Welcome to The Teacher and the Pro, where we dive into PGA Professionals' journeys and the paths they've chosen within the golf industry. I'm Nathan Rarick, an elementary PE teacher and golf writer for Fair to Green, an equitable sports media company. Joining us this episode is Meghan Musk, a leading assistant golf professional at Fort Wayne Country Club. Meghan shares about her journey becoming a PGA professional and talks about what it's like to work at a golf course that hosts an LPGA Tour event. Thank you, Meghan, for joining us for this conversation today. And kind of the whole point of this conversation is kind of learn more about what a PGA professional does from day to day, how to get to that point in your life, and other things that a normal golfer who may not understand what they all do, because from what I've heard talking with all of them, they're pretty busy. So the first question I really want to ask you before we get into the PGA professional side is who or what got you into the game of golf?
Yeah, well, thanks first for having me. Honored to be a guest on the podcast. But my dad is who got me into golf, which if you ask most, at least female golf pros or pro golfers, it's usually our dads that get us into the game. But yeah, my dad got me into the game. I was about 8 years old. He played with his buddies, and so he wanted something for us to do as a family. I'm an only child, something that we could get into as a family. And he would take us to this old, like, goat track of a driving range to hit balls. And I guess I showed some kind of natural talent and got me into junior camps that summer. And the rest is kind of history.
That's really cool. For me, yeah, my dad wasn't the biggest golfer. I just kind of got into it with friends, but usually from what I've talked to, it's usually a family member that gets them into that. Now,
Yeah.
once you got that club in your hand, did you think, oh, I'm going to play professionally or I'm going to make a career out of it? Or was it just something, this is fun to do with my dad and my friends? Did you ever see yourself getting into the golf industry as a young kid?
No, it's funny. They ask you when you're a kid what you want to be when you grow up. And I guess in third grade, I said I wanted to be a pro golfer, but like,
Okay.
I just put that down. Oh, no, I actually was going to go into the medical field. I wanted to be a surgeon. I played college golf, and that was always just going to be the end of the road for me was college golf. And after my freshman year, I was actually pretty burned out and I was kind of ready to step away from the game, but gave it all 4 years. And my senior year came around and I was like, I'm not quite ready to give up the sport. Kind of put medical school on hold and pursued playing professionally. I played professionally for about 3 years, from 15 through 17 were the 3 4 years that I played on tour, the mini tours, I should say. And then that kind of chapter of my life was ending, and I didn't want to go back to school. I didn't
Yeah,
want to
no.
go into debt with medical school. I was already 5 years removed from college, had no interest in going back to school whatsoever. And kind of the natural progression and next step was, I guess I'll go into the golf industry. It's what I've always known. And I never gave it a second thought. At the time, I was working at a golf course in Orlando. I was working in the bag room. They were like, hey, like, we can move you up to the pro shop and you get started in the PGA program. I was like, cool, that sounds great. And funny enough, I actually got a job back home in San Antonio, Texas at TPC San Antonio. That just fell in my lap. And that's how I kind of entered that side of the golf industry and pursued being a PGA pro.
That's very cool. Now, when you say PGA program, I know there's schools, like I know Florida Gulf Coast is a big one with the PGA school. So did you go back to college, or was it more so like what type of classes were you taking for it to get that certification?
There's two pathways you can take to be a PGA pro. Like you said, you can go to university route. There's like 14 accredited universities, I believe, through the PGA of America. And actually, my alma mater, Sam Houston State, is one of those universities. But I just played on the golf team. Again, being a PGA pro was never in my career path at all. So, you can go to university route where you graduate with your GBA, and then it's kind of like a minor in golf, if you will, but you graduate as a class A. Or you could do the self-taught route, which is what I did, where you do all the work, everything is on your own,
Wow.
self-paced, and then you go through seminars and coursework done by the PGA of America, but everything's on your own.
So I know I've talked to some other people at the PGA show and stuff, and all the extra things they have to do. I know there's all the professional development and all
Yeah.
that stuff that you guys have to keep up to date. Now, as a golf professional, what does your day-to-day look like, right? Because I always hear things like, oh, it's super long hours. Like there could be a day where you're in the pro shop, like you said earlier, and then maybe there's one day where you're teaching more lessons. Like,
Yeah.
so in a day-to-day basis, what does your schedule look like?
Every day is different, but it's the same. And I know that doesn't make any sense, but like right now I'm up in Indiana where my course is still closed for the winter. We won't open till around April 1st. But in season, it just depends on the day. Tuesday, Thursdays are my ladies' league that I run. I'm essentially running mini golf tournaments, if you will, on Tuesday and Thursday mornings. Wednesdays are kind of our slowest day at the club. So that's just a normal daily activity, daily play by members, some guests. Sometimes I'm out on the first tee greeting members and guests. I might be driving around the golf course in a cart, greeting them, checking on people, see how they're doing. Fridays and the weekends are our busiest days. That's a lot of just being out and about on the golf course. And then, yeah, lessons are sprinkled in
Yeah.
there. Some days are busier than others with lessons. I never really had a day that I was like dedicated to my lessons. Some like Tuesday evenings, I had a lot of lessons. Ran a ladies clinic too. So each day was kind of the same, but like you see different members every day. So that's where like it's kind of different. But you're essentially running a golf course. I'm the first
Yeah.
assistant at my club, but like my head pro leans on me a lot to like make sure the day-to-day operation is running smoothly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from New York, so I'm in the same boat as you as where it's been snowing the last feels like 6 months here.
Right.
This upcoming weekend, it's supposed to be 60 degrees, and people are like, "Oh, you want to play golf?" I'm like, "What do you mean? The course is gonna be soaked." And it's so
Right.
like I guess like what is your the golf club do during the winter? You guys have, I know the big craze now is simulators. Have you added
Yeah.
simulators to your club? So it's a lot of indoor golf, I'd assume.
Yeah, so we have, and I got that question a lot because I'm originally from Texas, where it's 12 months a
Yeah.
year playing golf. You can essentially play golf 350 days a year down there. And yeah, up here in the Midwest, things are closed. We had snow on the ground pretty much all
Yeah.
winter. But like our pro shop is still open. So we still have to staff that where members will still kind of come in and buy things here and there. But we do have an indoor hitting academy that's got 3 bays that the members can use. And they've got garage doors so the members can
Uh,
hit out into the range. They were
okay.
hitting out like with snow on the ground.
Yeah.
But we got foresight and we have flight scope. They're able to still see their numbers and they can essentially still play a golf
Yeah.
course by hitting out into the range. And we
Oh,
got
wow.
TV set up so they can see their ball flight and their numbers and everything. That keeps us pretty busy, keeping that stocked and going down and greeting the members and still interacting with them. But I've been super fortunate where my boss kind of allowed me to take a lot of time off. I was able to travel a lot this winter. I was able to go home back to Texas. We went to the PGA show for a week and then I was able to play an event down in Florida too. I've kind of been in and out of town, which I'm very fortunate to be able to do that. But yeah, we're still open, but like the golf
Yeah.
course is closed.
Now, I mean, you mentioned playing. Like, how much do you get to play yourself during the summertime or the springtime? I mean, you're right. Golf is a 2, 3, 4 hour commitment. I imagine it's hard to get out there, even if it is for 9 holes on a weeknight. How much do you play for yourself? And when you play, is it still like as fun as it was like in college and as a kid, or is it now just like, oh man, I do this for work all the time? Do you
Yeah.
still have that love, like that, like competition love for it?
It's funny you say that. When I stepped away from competitive golf, I was completely burned out on it. I took my PAT, to player ability test, which you have to take in order to enter the PGA program. Essentially, you have to shoot a target score over 36 holes. So I took that right away since I still kind of had a little bit of those competitive juices in me. And after that, I was like, I'm done. I am so burned out. I've played golf my entire life. Like, I just want to focus on my career. I probably took about a good 5-year hiatus
Wow.
where I wouldn't say I didn't completely touch my clubs, but like I did not want to play golf. Like, it's essentially what you said. Like, I do this for work. I just want to go home and like separate myself from
Yeah.
that. And, every once in a while, I'd get the edge to kind of go out there. When I worked down in Texas at Houston, I played in a couple team events within our Southern Texas section, but again, I had no desire to play whatsoever. And as I was interviewing for my current job, everyone was like, "Oh, well, do you want to play? Like, do you want to play in section events?" And it's like, no, I don't. Like, I don't like to
Yeah.
play. I just want to like be a golf pro. But my head pro at my current club, he was just so encouraging and so supportive that within like a couple weeks of me starting last year, he was like, "I want you to win Indiana Women's Player of the Year." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." Like, I told you I don't want to play golf. And he just encouraged me to play in events. And, I played in a couple and golf just became fun again. And I think through his just encouragement and support, and something that's really helped me as I've kind of entered back into the competitive space is, yes, I'm competing again, but it's not for my job like it used to
Yeah.
be. Like, I can go out and shoot 95 and I still have to get up the next day and run my ladies league,
Yeah.
right? I still have a job at the end of the day. And so that's taken a lot of pressure off of it. One of our assistants and I, we were really good at going out.
Very
We would
good.
go out after work, even during the week, and we'd go play 9 holes. And him and I, we had a match going all season long, and, like, we would keep up with it, and not to brag, I won, like, 16 and 5,
There you
but,
go. Yeah.
it's just little stuff like that, that it was just fun. And then
Yeah.
golf just became fun again, and I think there's just the environment I'm in, and then also having this break in the winter too, where
Yeah.
it's just like, okay, I can't play golf, so I can take a break right now. That's helped too, where at the end of season, I was like, all right, I'm ready to kind of put the clubs up for a little bit. But now with the weather kind of turning, I'm itching to get back out there. I think taking a step away from it and now coming back to it, I have a new appreciation for it. And I'm enjoying playing golf again, but I'm also enjoying my career as well.
That's really cool. And yeah, it's always is tough. Like I playing sports all growing up, and then once you get to college, and then kind of now out of college, I'm like, I'm 30 years old. I can't go play a full 90-minute soccer game. So what do? I go,
Right.
I call my friend and go, okay, let's go play golf. And
Yeah.
it's not the same, but like I'm still trying to beat him. He's still trying to beat me,
Yeah.
and again, like you say, we tally it up, and it's like, oh, you won this past month, and I won this, but like, so it's
Right.
something, and it's like with the handicap system and all that. I think that's where the game of golf has been great, and since this kind of golf boom after COVID have you seen that working in the golf industry? Is the golf boom real? Do you think?
Oh my gosh, yes. It is so real. I was working at my first club in Houston when COVID hit, and a busy day for them wouldn't even break 100 rounds. And then COVID hit, and we were record-breaking rounds every single day.
Wow.
Like, I don't remember. I know when we hit 120 one day, we might have hit 150, and this was just an 18-hole private course in Houston. And now it's not uncommon for almost every club that I've been at since COVID. 120 round day is not something to blink at. If it's under 100, it's a slow day. Especially in the private club space, I can't necessarily speak for the public or resort side since the majority of my career, especially post COVID, has been in the private world. But all these private clubs have wait lists now. And, it's harder to get into private clubs, and private clubs, like, a lot of courses used to not have tea times, and now they've been forced to go to tea
Yeah.
times. And a lot of members complain that they can't even get a tea time. Members who have been members at clubs for a really long time have had a hard time adjusting to, "Well, what do you mean I need to make a tea time now? I didn't have to in the
Yeah.
past." And it's like, well, it's post COVID. Like,
Yeah.
you have to make a tea time now. The COVID boom is real.
I mean, I definitely see it just on the course, and now with the boom, right? More people are getting into the industry, and I know I've had some people that I've seen that have left the industry as well. And what would you say are some highs and lows of being a PGA professional?
I mean, you hear it all the time that we work long hours and we work
Yeah.
weekends and holidays. And I knew that going in. And because that's something one of my first coaches used to say, and kind of the joke in the golf industry is if you don't want to play golf, then become a golf pro. Because, we do work a lot. And that is a sacrifice we have to make, especially those who have families. Is yes, we're working weekends. Weekends are our busiest time. And we work holidays too. I mean, especially down in Texas, like we had a Thanksgiving shotgun. The only days we were closed was Christmas. It's just
Crazy.
a fact of the matter. I knew that going in, so it never really bothered me. But I know for a lot of people, that's really hard, especially up here in the Midwest. Summertime is lake season.
Yeah.
And so not being able to go to the lake with your friends and family is hard. I think one good thing that's come out post COVID is because the industry did lose a lot of assistants because the pay has notoriously not been great is that
Mhm.
is starting to change. Work life balance is becoming a real thing where we don't have to work 60, 80-hour weeks if we don't have to. During season, I'm working 12, 14-hour days. My boss was amazing that he was still able to give us 2 days off last season, which is unheard of. But it wasn't uncommon down in Houston for me to work 14, 21 days straight in season. It's
Wow.
just what you do. But the pay disparity has gotten a lot better
That's good.
because a lot of assistants have left. And so the PGA America has kind of had to look at itself and be like, okay, what can we do to get these young assistants to stay? So work life balance has been a big thing where it's like, okay, do we really need to be here for these long hours? Or can I cut this guy to go home and have dinner at a decent time with his family? That has been probably one of the best things to come out of COVID is that flip.
And you mentioned it a couple times now. So, at a typical golf course, I know you said you worked at a lot of private clubs. How many professionals would you see at a course? You said there's a head pro, and then you're the first assistant. I mean,
Mhm.
how many other at your course now? How many pros are there?
There's 4 of us. So me and the head pro, we're full PGA Class A, and then we have kind of a second and a third assistant who are PGA associates, so they're in the program. It really just depends on the facility. Usually small private clubs like 18-hole facilities or even like a public course will have like a head pro or first assistant. It's an uncommon. Maybe another assistant. Really high-end clubs, you might have a director of golf and head pro. My last club in Houston, we had 2 golf courses. So we had a
Oh
director of
yeah.
golf, a head pro. There's 2 of us second assistants, and we had like 10 third assistants. So it just really depends on the size of your facility. But I would say on average, you at least have a head pro and at least 2, maybe 3 assistants.
I mean, there's so much to do through the season, especially when
Yeah.
you're like you're saying 2 courses. I mean, that's adds more to it. Now,
Yeah.
if there's a aspiring PJ professional listening to this podcast, what is one piece of advice that you would give them entering this field?
I would just say be a sponge. Like, don't be afraid to ask questions. At least if you're on the private side and you see one of your bosses or managers working on a tournament, go in and sit in that office and watch them set up the golf tournament. See what they're doing. Ask questions. We're running a golf tournament. Just kind of be around and observe what we're doing. If we're giving lessons, ask, hey, can I sit in on your lesson so I can learn? That's probably the biggest thing is just a lot of being a golf pro. Yes, you can learn from the PGA, but every facility is different and you can learn so much, especially from your head pros who have done it for so long that just sit there, observe, watch what they do, and ask questions. Why are you doing this? Why'd you do that? I think that's the best way that you can learn. It's just immerse yourself into it.
I mean, I'm a teacher right now, so I'm a school teacher, and that right now I have a student teacher, and he's asking me if I have a break, go watch another teacher. Like, don't just
Right.
sit here and do and nothing.
Yeah.
My best experience and the most I learned when I was in school, I had to do all the dumb gen ed classes, but like the best
Right.
experience I had was doing the student teaching, doing the
Yeah.
observation hours, and that's where you learn the most. And I mean, it's the same for anything, like you're saying. Like, I wouldn't know how to make a golf tournament. I wouldn't know how to run it or make tee times or a field. And here's this
Right.
professional who's done it for 20 years. And now you're like, oh, I just have that more knowledge. And maybe there's a little trick they do.
Yeah.
Now you can pick up on.
I mean, a lot of what I've had to do is I've had to figure out stuff on my own. And so, especially with my assistants now, when I'm working on a golf tournament, I'll pull them in and I'll be like, hey, watch me do this. Or like one right now, I told him, I was like, I want you to set up every single men's tournament for the season. And I don't want you to like clone it because you can do that in our tournament software. You can clone it. It's like, don't clone it.
Okay.
Like, learn how to do this.
Yeah.
And then I'll always go in and double check their work,
Yeah.
right? Or they'll come to me with questions. And I always tell assistants or new employees, like, there is no such thing as a stupid question. Ask me. Because, like, I'd rather you ask me and I can give you the answer than if you do something wrong. Yes, I can go back and fix it, but I'd rather you just like ask me so you can learn as much as you can.
Yeah, and you've worked at some pretty cool courses, and the one I want to talk about a couple of them real
Yeah.
quick. And the one is down in Houston. You mentioned they host the Chevron Championship, and for
Yeah.
those who don't know, the LPGA major, the members are always like, "Oh yeah, I want to show off the course to the world and all that." What does it look like the month, 2 months before at the golf course? Is there as much play happening? That I'm sure the build up is going for the bleachers and all that. What does
Yeah.
that look like for like the month leading up to that event?
Yeah, I've been fortunate enough in my career that I started out at TPC San Antonio, which hosts the Valero Texas Open PGA Tour
Yeah.
event. So I had 2 years of that. I got to see two Valeros, and then I worked one Chevron at Carlton Woods, and then the second year they hosted it, I was at the other golf course, kind of focusing on the members, but. Probably about 2 months out, the build out starts with the bleachers and all the trucks and everything start coming
Yeah.
in. So that's when kind of all the excitement starts to build and you see that unrolling. And then, kind of about a month out is when head pro or director of golf might sit us all down and kind of go through, okay, this is what's happening. This is kind of our roles. That way everyone's on the same page for the week because it's crazy. You're the center of the golf world for
Yeah.
an entire week.
Wild.
And so it's just like all eyes are on you for an entire week. And then they just leave. It's like,
Yeah.
it's wild. And the best way I can describe it is like, because everyone's like, oh, like, how much of a hand did you have in it? You literally just hand the golf course over because
Okay.
like PGA Tour and LPGA Tour, they have companies actually running the golf course.
Yeah.
And so like the director of golfs and the head pros are more involved in it. At TPC San Antonio, we were in charge of the merchandise tent. So that was
Okay.
our big focus was doing the merchandise tent and the pro shop was also still open to the public too. So, we were running that, staffing that. At Carlton Wood, we did the merchandise tent as well, but also the driving range was kind
Okay.
of our realm too. But the tournaments run off of volunteers as
Yeah.
well. So, like, you're an employee, but volunteers really do a
Yeah.
lot too. So, it's really cool. It's cool to be up close and personal to players too. Like, I
Yeah.
walked down the hall. I saw Jordan Spieth eating breakfast. I walked past Billy Horschel. I got to show Tony Finau's wife, like, where the locker
It's
room
pretty
is.
cool. Yeah.
And then even like with the girls, like Nelly Corda, I gave her sister Jessica's caddy a ride. I shuttled him. Celine Boutier, I got to shuttle around. It's
Okay.
really cool to kind of, especially as a golf nerd, kind of being up close and personal. My coworkers at Carlton Woods would tease me because I knew all the LPGA girls. And they're like, who's that? Who's that? And they kind of called me like the encyclopedia. I kind of knew like where they went to college and that. And it's just like, I just love that stuff. Kind of being in the center of the LPGA world, especially the first major and all the history with the Chevron was really,
Yeah.
really cool.
I mean that must be cool. Now, as soon as the rate the final putt drops Sunday night or Sunday afternoon, whatever it
Yeah.
is, like how soon after can the members go back to playing? Is it Monday they can put tee in the ground and go, or do they need to take it
So
down?
the tournament still has to go off course for Monday because that's a sponsor day. At TPC, we went cart path only a month before, and the course closed, I think, 10 days before. Either 10 days or 2 weeks before. At Carlton Woods, we never went cart path only. Tournament week is Monday. Even though like the tournament starts Thursday, tournament week is Monday. The members still had the golf course Thursday morning before because I had ladies stay on Thursday. And so the ladies would play the Nicholas course Thursday morning. And then that Thursday afternoon, the course was shut down. So really, the members didn't have access to the golf course for 10 days,
Oh, that's not that
which
bad.
is incredible, especially
Yeah.
since we had another golf course too. They were only didn't have access to golf course for 10 days. So like you said, Sunday, last putt drops. Monday is always sponsor day. Even at TPC San Antonio, that's one of the biggest charity fundraiser events is always the Monday after.
Uh,
And then at Carlton Woods, members were back on the course on Tuesday.
I mean, the just to work there again, I live close to Oak Hill, so going up there and then hearing that just from people like, oh yeah, we haven't been able to play for a month or so. To finish up here, I'm gonna call this segment fairway fire questions. It's just six random or not random, kind of rapid speed questions,
Okay.
and whatever you think your answer is, just shout, and then it will be good. They're not hard; they're pretty easy.
Okay.
First thing comes to mind, just say it. All
All
right. So the
right.
first one, dream course to play.
Well, first one that comes to mind is Augusta.
Yep. Yeah, I'm sure that'll be everyone's.
Yeah.
Second one, favorite on-course golf snack.
Ooh, an Uncrustable. Those are like
Yes.
sneaky, where it's just a
Yeah.
prime good golf course snack.
Yeah. It's again, I teach in an elementary school and I have a lunch duty and I see so many Uncrustables to the point where I buy them and my fiance goes, "Why are you eating like a third grader?" I'm like, "'Cause I see them every day and they're delicious."
I
But
had a first one like 2 years ago. We got them at Carlton Woods, and the members lost their minds when I was like, I've never had Uncrustables, so PB&J. And they're like, it is life-changing. And it truly is. You put it in the freezer and it's thawed out by the time you make the
yes.
turn.
Yes.
It comes in clutch.
Yes, no, so good. All right, the next one, early morning tea time or a sunset round?
I'm like a 10 o'clock tea time person
Okay.
where it's like I can still sleep in, but I still have the rest of the day to do what I want after
Yeah.
golf. Like, I don't like getting up super early, but I don't know. It just depends. Like, if I'm playing in a tournament, I want like a 9 o'clock tea time because I can
Yeah.
still sleep in. But like after work, I'm going out for an evening nine, and there is something special about playing like
Oh,
golf
yeah.
at twilight.
Yeah.
But no, I'm like a 9:30, 10 o'clock tea time.
Okay. Yeah. For me,
Yeah.
it's got it depending on the weather. Like, I don't want to be out there in the middle of the day in the hot sun, but yeah, I will agree with you. There's something about like going to play nine after work or something that is just
Yeah.
nice. Just walk and play.
Yep.
All right, the next one, the favorite club in your golf bag.
Oh, that changes. Probably driver. I've always been a really good driver of the golf ball. I would probably have to say driver. That or my putter's been working pretty well recently. I changed putters last season in the middle of the season, but I would probably have to say driver.
Okay. Who would be in your dream foursome to play golf with?
Oh, probably Tiger. Oh, this is so hard.
Yeah, this one is probably the toughest one.
Tiger, either Rory or Nelly, and then probably my dad.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with any of those professionals. And
Yeah.
the last one, your favorite golf movie.
Ooh. Probably Tin Cup. I'm honestly not that much of a movie person. But yeah, if I had to pick a golf movie, probably Tin Cup.
Yeah, and I mean a good solid one. Megan, thanks for doing this. I think it's gonna be really
Yeah.
cool to hear different PJ professionals' views on different things. And yeah, I think the listeners will definitely get some good insight from you. I think your advice was great to aspiring ones. So thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was fun.